fellow Grifflin marketing family. Once again, it's a pleasure to have you all with us as always. We simply ask that you find a quiet place to focus, close out anything that you're currently working on, open your ears as well as your mind, respect the host and your fellow members in chat. We also ask that any and all chat remain relevant to the current topic of the webinar. With that being said, and without further ado, I proudly present to you an inspiring, productive, and empowering Grifflin Marketing Academy presentation.
How you doing? My name is Brandon Orris Brown, and in this presentation, I'm going to be teaching you how to make $100,000 per year as an unsigned music artist. Now, inside of this powerful music marketing training, I want to teach you some of my best social media strategies and show you how any unsigned artist can make $100,000 per year leveraging social media. Now, the music industry has radically changed since the days of selling CDs or selling tapes or even selling vinyl. And your ability as an unsigned artist to create revenue and to achieve the things that you want out of your music career has never been as accessible and has never been as possible as it is in our current and modern technology-based music industry. So what I want to teach you here is how to leverage the billions of people on social media so that you can take your music career into your hands, so that you no longer have to wait for a record label to sign you, so that you can begin to move into your destiny and really be able to live out the dreams and the goals that you have for your music career. So I want to give you a very systematic paint by numbers process. And if you follow every single thing that I'm getting ready to teach you inside of this training, you're going to be able to attract more of the people that you want. You're going to be able to achieve more of the goals and the ambitions that you have in the music industry. And you're going to be able to affiliate with more of the industry's A-list. And that's because your value, once you learn how to leverage this formula that I'm about to teach you, your value as a music artist is going to increase by 100 to 500% because you essentially will have the keys to creating your destiny. Now, before I dig deep into this formula, let me tell you a little bit about me, who I am, so that you have some context for this information and so that you get to know a little bit more about who you're learning from. Now, I got my start in the music industry back in 2000 I'd say probably like 2004, 2005, where I was an intern at Def Jam. I was on the street team. And me and my brother and my friends and my roommates at that time, we would go around and we would post the banners on the light poles, and we would promote different up-and-coming artists who were coming through Def Jam LA. And I did that for a little while, and I got some experience, but I started to see that a lot of artists were not actually coming out. And a lot of them would, maybe get signed to, some type of deal, but their albums would never make it into Tower Records or Walmart or into any of the stores. And so I knew there had to be a way that, any artist could be able to take their destiny and their dreams in their hands and not have to depend on a record label to be able to get their music out to the world and, really create the lifestyle that they wanted. So what happened from that point when I started to see this, I started to look at social media, and this was, back in the MySpace days when, social media was just starting to bubble and not too many people knew about it, and it was kind of an underground thing. But I really saw a lot of potential in social media that could help music artists, and so that drove me to start really going after these different social networking platforms and learning how to do them so that I could learn how to essentially teach the artists that I was working with or people in general just how to build a fan base for their talents and their craft. So I ended up essentially connecting with a group of mentors who literally started from nothing and went on to become multimillionaires in several different industries. and I learned from them some of the most cutting edge tactics for leveraging technology and social media. And one of the biggest things I learned from them was that if you can foresee a trend coming, if you can have the vision to see further than everybody else and put yourself there, then you're going to be able to capitalize in your music career. And this is what you see with people like Drake, Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, and many, many other artists who are now being discovered on social media. This is what they were able to do. They were able to put themselves ahead of the curve, and they were able to leverage technology to get record deals and to ultimately all become millionaires and impact their fans at a very deep level. So what I want to teach you is what I kind of feel is the next evolution of social media, and I want to show you how you can monetize your music so that you don't have to wait for a record label. You don't have to wait until you have thousands of dollars to print up a demo, and really be able to leverage the most profitable asset that you can have, which is your music audience. Now, before I dive into this formula, also, I want to talk to you about the biggest social media mistakes, because I think if you have some context for what majority of artists, I would probably say 99.999% of artists are doing, then you will see exactly why they are not able to leverage technology and why they're making these crucial mistakes that are keeping them in the same positions year after year after year, not making any money from their actual music. Now, the first mistake is that most artists only focus on likes and subscribers and followers. And what you have to understand is that if you're just focused on getting a like or a subscriber or somebody to follow you on Twitter, that doesn't really translate into revenue. Okay, so just because somebody likes your Facebook status or subscribes to your YouTube channel or follows you on Twitter or Instagram, it does not equate to revenue. Okay, it doesn't equate to money. Now, mistake number 2 is building an untargeted and irrelevant audience, just so that your social media profiles appear popular. You see, a lot of people will buy likes, or they'll buy subscribers, or they'll buy followers. And to be honest with you, that again does not translate into revenue. Okay, so if you're focusing on this and you think that a record label or a manager or a fan is going to look at this and say that that you're popular because you have purchased likes and subscribers, it's never going to equate to money. And I'm going to explain why in just a second. Now, mistake number 3 is making offers to people who never asked for it. So I see a lot of music artists trying to sell their music to people who never asked for it, who never have shown any interest, who've never reached out and said that they were interested in hearing from you. Okay, and that just causes a lot of frustration, and it causes a lot of negative thoughts that will keep you in the same position, running in circles if you're trying to market your music to people who never asked. Okay, spamming, posting product links, videos, or messages on people's social media pages without their permission. And really what this is doing is it's damaging your reputation. It's creating a space in a person's mind of you and of your music and of your brand as somebody who's a spammer. And there's no way you're going to capitalize on your music if people view you as somebody who spams concerts and shows and music on their page without the masking. I mean, essentially, that's going to make them upset, and it's going to make them not really want to engage with your actual music or your brand. Now, mistake number 5 is not focusing on building an authoritative brand in the marketplace. Now, branding in our modern music economy is everything. Okay, branding is everything. And the reason why it's everything is because the modality in which artists get paid now, it stems far beyond just selling a CD. Okay, and Nowadays, the real money's being made in the brand, in the brand's identity, and your ability to build a recognizable, authoritative brand in the industry that people want to invest in, that your fans want to be a part of. All right, so it's really, really important to understand this whole concept of building an authoritative brand, because once you have an authoritative brand in the marketplace, then essentially what you're able to do is you're able to command a very high fee for your talents and services. Whereas before it was about mass distribution and let's just put our music in front of a bunch of people and see how many people stick. That whole mindset has to change if you want to leverage social media and be able to capitalize on it. All right. Now, selling directly on social media and not launching your products. Okay, so many artists are just selling their music directly on social media and not launching their products. But here's what you have to understand about sales and being able to capitalize off of your music is that consumers are used to products being launched to them. They're used to companies figuring out what is the appeal of an artist or what is the appeal of a product, and then creating a sequence that allows them to subtly launch a product into a marketplace using very specific psychological tactics that create desire for a specific artist or a specific product. And if you're not doing this, then when your product comes out, it doesn't have any value. Okay, it doesn't represent any value to your audience, and therefore they are not going to pay attention and they are not going to buy. Now, as you can see, these mistakes right here are the reason why most artists are failing with social media. But today, I'm going to show you how to eradicate all of this, and I'm going to show you how to put yourself into the future of where the music industry is going, and I'm going to show you how you can literally start to capitalize on your music fan base and how you can build a music fan base literally just leveraging the power of social media. Okay, so let's talk about how to turn 1,000 true fans into $100,000 per year leveraging social media. All right, and this concept, I believe, should be the baseline formula. Okay, this should be the thing that you focus on when you are first trying to leverage social media to build a fan base. All right, and from here you can leverage this to get a record deal, to get a distribution deal, to get signed to a publishing deal, or whatever it is that you have ambitions to do. I believe if you break it down to a simple formula for how to turn 1,000 true fans into $100,000 per year, then your ability to do all these things will come with speed, ease, and pleasure. Okay, so let's take a look at the 1,000 true fans concept, which was created by Kevin Kelly. Now, Kevin Kelly wrote a fascinating article a few years ago that said a creator, such as an artist, a musician, a photographer, a craftsman, a performer, an animator, a designer, a video maker, or an author, in other words, anyone producing works of art, need to only acquire 1,000 true fans to make a living. Okay? Now, Kevin Kelly is such a profound thinker when it comes to this whole new millennial way of marketing and this whole technology driven music economy and really global economy. And he's really defined how any artist can make a living. And what I've done is I've taken his concepts and I've kind of refined them, and I've kind of taken my knowledge, put them into it to be able to give you a very paint by numbers formula. Okay, so that's how the 1,000 True Fans concept was originated by Mr. Kevin Kelly. Now, what is a true fan? Okay, so if we're saying here that all you need is 1,000 true fans to make $100,000 per year, let's define what a true fan is. So a true fan is defined as someone who is willing to purchase anything and everything you produce. Okay, so if you don't have fans that are not, that are not currently buying everything that you put out, then they are not true fans. Okay, so another way to look at it is it's a network of people whom your talent, products, or skills attract and whom are now expecting and anticipating relevant content and products from you on a regular basis. Okay, so let me unpack this a little bit. So, building a network is the most profitable thing that you can do because your network is going to equal your net worth in the new music economy. So if you can look at your network right now, you're going to be able to see a very sharp contrast or a very sharp example of what you're able to make from your music career based on your fan network. Okay, now your network is based on people who are expecting and anticipating relevant content and products from you on a regular basis. So when I say anticipating, I mean they wake up every day and they're looking for content from you. They're looking for products such as shows, such as merchandising, such as concerts, such as new music. Okay, they're anticipating this from you. Okay, that is what a true fan is. And in order to cultivate this type of behavior into a fan, you have to understand what is motivating your fans. You have to understand what is making them tick. Okay, you have to understand the process of taking a complete stranger and turning them into a person who is anticipating, who is expecting relevant content from you and products from you on a regular basis. And that is the essence of creating a true fan. And that is how you begin to really take your music career to the next level. So I wanted to give you a baseline principle for where to start and when it comes to thinking about creating a fan, all right? Because a Facebook follower or YouTube subscriber or a Twitter follower isn't necessarily a fan because they're not really, you don't know if they're anticipating relevant content and products from you on a regular basis. All right, so this is a powerful insight. I hope that you really catch where I'm going with this. So let's talk about the goal. Okay, so the goal, Kevin Kelly says, if you can get 1,000 true fans to each spend 1 day's wage per year in support of your passion, then their 1 day's wage on average can make you $100,000 per year. Note, your truest fans will spend a lot more. Okay, so instead of trying to think about getting a record deal or getting a distribution deal right off the top, what if you put your energy into focusing on getting 1,000 true fans? Okay, remember, people who are searching for your content, who are active, who are looking for relevant information and products from you, just to spend 1 day's wage per year in order to support your passion. That's a lot simpler than trying to compete against millions of people to get a record deal. All right, and essentially what that's going to equal is $100,000 per year. Okay, now your truest fans, meaning the people who are hyper responsive and who really follow everything that you're doing and who love you and have respect for you and who have admiration for you, they are going to spend even more money. So let's take a look at this goal from a deeper level. Okay, now there's billions of people at your fingertips. Okay, literally, there are billions of people at your fingertips. And if you look at YouTube right now, they have over 500 million people. Okay, Twitter has over 240 million people. Facebook has over 1 billion people. And all you need is 1,000 true fans in order to make $100,000 per year. So in essence, all you have to do is learn how to take complete strangers off of these sites, cultivate them into fans, and essentially sell them a product that is going to cost them 1 day's wage per year, and you can make $100,000. Okay, this is a really simple concept to follow, but most artists will never understand exactly how to do this. Okay, so basically the 1,000 true fans big picture for making $100,000 essentially says you find 1,000 true fans, you get them to pay you $25 every quarter. Okay, so pretty much what that means is that if you can get them to pay you $25 every quarter would essentially equal $100 per year that they would be paying you. Okay, so that's $25 a quarter, which means every 4 months. Okay, so every 4 months, if they were to pay you $25, you would have $100,000 in your bank. Okay, now if you think about that, that's not really a lot of money. Okay, that's actually not a lot of money at all. And essentially, that's what you should focus on if you want to actually create this formula. All right. Now, think about 1 day's wage. Okay, 1 day's wage essentially is $100 for most people. Okay, so on average, all right, some is more, some is less, but on average, it'd be about $100. So if you break that up over a quarter, which means every 4 months of the year, and they pay you $25, you'd be making $100,000 per year. Okay, so that's how the math looks. Okay, now let's talk about an artist who essentially was able to leverage this concept and make $89,000 without selling a tangible product using this 1,000 True Fans business model. Now, this is a case study about a lady named Jill Sobel who essentially made a lot of money in a very, very short period of time. Okay, $89,000 in a matter of weeks. Now, Jill Sobel, like most artists, was frustrated with the music industry, politics that were keeping her on the outside of her music dream. And in mid-December 2008, Jill launched a website with a goal of making $75,000 through fan donations to basically produce and manufacture and distribute and promote her up-and-coming album. Now, in exchange for those donations, Jill offered her true fans an assortment of gifts that were equal to the perceived value of their donation, okay? That were equal to the perceived value of their donations. Now, these gifts ranged from a free download of the album upon, its release to $10 to the opportunity to attend a recording session and sing on the record for $10,000. Okay, so essentially there was a variety of opportunities that she gave her fans to help her build this album that ranged from $10 to $10,000. Now, 53 days after she went public of launching her site, Jill reached her targets through donations and essentially sold her packages to over 500 people in the U.S. and in the District of Columbia in 11 foreign countries. Okay, so essentially what she did was she birthed this whole idea of the fan fund concept, which, as you can see, worked extremely well for her. In fact, like I said, she raised over $89,000 and blew past her target of $75,000 for her promotions and to get everything going down, to put everything in order for her to be able to sell her album. Okay. Now, here's how she essentially did this. Okay. She used something called a product pricing curve. And the product pricing curve essentially means that instead of just selling a CD for $20, which is where most singer-songwriters, rappers are at in their music career, she essentially created products that kept going up the pricing curve that were valued as high as, $10,000. Now, in the future, I believe that people will have products that they sell for over $100,000 and that essentially will be worth, millions of dollars to their career once they really grasp this concept and do it. But essentially, Jill stopped at $10,000. But I'm saying that I believe that you can sell products up to $100,000. And, successful artists right now are doing private shows and private events for $100,000, $200,000, $1 million. So I know that it's very, very possible if you build the value and equity into your brand. Okay, so let's take a look at how she did this, okay? So essentially what she did was she offered a free download for $10, all right? And that was basically when the album was released. She did an advanced copy of a CD weeks before the masses got it. Okay, so that was $25. And she did an advanced copy and a thank you on the CD for $50. And she did all the above plus a t-shirt and a junior executive producer on the album for $100. For $200, she did a free admission to all of her shows in 2008. For $250, she did all of the above, plus she let them into a secret society producers club, which means you get a secret password and a website allowance into her private website, where she would post tracks and other worthwhile gifts to her fans. For $500, essentially what she did was she did all of that, plus she gave out instrumentals, and she would mention your name and maybe rhyme with it in one of her songs. And it could be used, to give away as a gift or whatnot. For $750, she pretty much did all of that, but she added some more perks into it. So for $1,000, what she essentially did was she wrote a theme song for you, and essentially you could put it on your answering machine and give that away as a gift also. For $2,500, she mentioned you as an executive producer of the album. For $5,000, she would come to your house, perform a concert, invite you, you and your friends to, do a private event at your house where they serve drinks, and she'd actually sing and all of these kind of things of that nature. And she also played mini house concerts that were hosted for this $5,000. And, pretty much that's how she was able to start creating these packages. And then for $10,000, she would let you sing on her CD, and pretty much she'd allow you to be recognized on the CD. Now, to leverage this formula, you have to think outside of the box. You can't just think the traditional way of building a fan base, the traditional way of building an audience. You have to think outside of the box. Okay, CDs are not where it's at anymore. Okay, CDs are now more of a memorabilia. Okay, more of something that you would create as a limited offer. Because what fans really want these days is they want to be involved with the process. They want to be involved with this entire way of helping an artist cultivate and build their music career. Okay, so that's essentially how, she was able to make $75,000 in 2 weeks, and then essentially go on to make $89,000, in a very, very short amount of time. All right, so this is powerful stuff that if you understand and shift your paradigm, then you can literally use this formula to create $100,000 per year and build a successful music career. Now let's talk about the 5-step process for turning complete strangers on social media into 1,000 true fans. Because essentially, if you want people to care enough, if you want people to be actively searching for you and your music and your products and your services, then you have to learn how to turn complete strangers on social media into real true fans who are anticipating music, concerts, and shows from you. Okay, so the first thing you have to understand is this concept of attraction marketing. Okay, and attraction marketing is essentially the process of putting personal relevant marketing in front of people who are already looking for it. So there are artists who you're probably exactly like, or who you share a lot of similarities to, or if somebody asks you what type of artist would you best say describes your feel of music or whatever, then essentially you might say a very well-known artist. And what you want to do with attraction marketing is put your music in front of those people, because they've already proven that they're looking for it and that they are willing to participate and essentially support this genre or this type of music. Now, attraction marketing allows you to transform from the hunter of customers, clients, to being the hunted by prospects, because your marketing speaks to their needs. Okay, so if you think about your fans as customers and clients, not as just random people who are on social media, who are, essentially out there, in some magical world, but these are actual your customers. Anybody who spends money on your music, they are customers, all right? And so the way you go from hunting them down is you learn how to create attraction with your marketing, with your music, so that it brings them in. Okay, so attraction marketing is all about leading with value, providing your value, then building a relationship, and then finally making an offer. So what I mean by this is that you have to create something valuable for your music artists, for your fans, that you can give them as a music artist. Okay, so it's not good enough just to say, hey, I got new music coming out. You have to create an experience for them. You have to create something that will allow them to engage and be a part of everything that you're doing. And then essentially through that, you will build a relationship, and then you can finally make them an offer to come to your music concerts and shows. Okay, so attraction marketing is about finding a hungry market first, identifying a problem, and then creating a solution. Now, most artists who are successful rap about their past, they rap about their stories, or they sing about their stories, or they write songs about problems that people can relate to, people can identify with, or things that are entertaining that people can relate to and identify with. And that is essentially how you figure out who your music is going to cater to. And then you go ahead and you find that audience and you put it in front of them. Okay, so most successful social media marketers frame their products and brands as solutions. Okay, so you have to start thinking about yourself as a marketer, okay? Because great music artists of our time essentially were good marketers, or they had a good marketing team. And so what I mean by that is that they thought about themselves as a product to market. Okay, they thought about their brand as a solution to a marketplace. All right, if you look at the Taylor Swifts, if you look at the Justin Biebers, the Drakes, they have very specific audience members that they cater to, and they are a solution to the things that they're going to on a regular basis. And it doesn't really matter what genre of music you do. It just matters how you think about creating your music. All right, so this is a really powerful element to understand if you want to start attracting people to your music. Okay, so step number one to turning your passion into $100,000 per year business is really to create a movement on social media. And a movement is so imperative these days because people want to be involved with a group of people. They want to be affiliated with a brand that is moving towards something, that represents something. They don't want to just be involved with an artist anymore. They want to be a part of a movement. Okay, if you think about every successful artist that's mainstream right now, they have a movement. Okay, they give their fans a specific name. They talk to their fans a specific way on social media. All right, they have a very specific movement that is essentially driving their entire marketing, their entire music. So you have to create a movement. Okay, so it's not about building fans, customers, and clients really. Okay, because your movement will essentially attract fans, customers, and clients. So you don't want to focus on attracting them. You want to focus on getting your movement in front of the right people. Okay, and the way you do that is you focus on connecting a disconnected body of people to each other and then rallying them around your passion, your products, and your music. Okay, so you want to connect a disconnected body of people to your music and then rally them around your passion and your products. And really your passion should be very apparent inside of your music, inside of your brand, inside of everything that you're doing. And your products are your music, your concerts, your shows, etc. Okay, so how do you create a movement around your passion? First, like I said, you identify who your target audience is, and then basically you figure out what specific needs they want. Okay, so these are emotional needs, all right? These are things that you can identify, you know, with them. Okay, you guys both share two different things. Okay, you have a shared interest in very specific things that you guys need for your life, and your music and your brand represents those shared interests. Okay, so then you create a reciprocity relationship with your fans. In other words, it's a give and take relationship. okay? And I'm going to get more into what a reciprocity relationship is in just a minute, because this is the most powerful relationship you could build with your music audience to get them to pay for your concerts and shows. Or creating a central hub for your fans to meet daily, such as a blog, private Facebook group, or mobile app. Now listen, you don't have to be a blogger, but people are so inundated with reality TV, with the Kardashians, with this whole idea of being able to take a look into a person's personal life and watch them on the journey. And that is going to help you build fans so much faster when they feel like they can watch you as you go along in your journey. Okay, this is powerful, powerful stuff. Now, step 2, understanding that the money and power is in the list. Okay, so the money and power is not in selling CDs anymore. It's not in getting your records in Walmart or Best Buy. Okay, that is such a 90s mentality, and it's not the way you become profitable as a music artist. Okay, so your email list is the most important element of your entire music career when it comes to creating profits, because your email list allows you to build a relationship with your fans and essentially keep marketing your music, concerts, and shows to them for the rest of time. So this way, when you have a new music or when you have a new concert or a show, you already have a primed and hungry audience to send it to, and you don't have to go trying to figure out who you're going to market it to, who you're going to sell it to. It's a powerful concept. Okay, so the goal of social media is to get people off of social media and onto your email list and then teach them how to buy from you. Okay, so the reason why you want to get them off of social media is because if you lose your Facebook page, if you lose your Instagram page, if you lose your Vine, if you lose your YouTube page, or if these sites become unpopular, all of your hard work is now in vain. It's gone in one fell swoop, and you no longer have access to those fans. So you want to get them off of social media into a database that you own. Okay, think about all your fans from MySpace. Okay, they're gone. MySpace is just not a relevant platform anymore. And imagine if, Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or whatever, any of those sites go through something like this, then essentially you are going to lose all of those followers. So you have to be building a laser targeted email list and building a relationship with those people, not just to spam them and try to get them to buy your music, but to build a friendship with them, a relationship, so that they actually want to buy it. Okay, so essentially how to build a list leveraging social media is you want to create a perfect music buyer's capture page. In essence, you want to create a one-page website that is simply just put out on social media to collect names and email addresses of your most laser targeted perfect buying fans, okay? People who would be most apt to buy from you. Now, essentially what this means is that let's say after they watch a YouTube video or after they watch a Facebook post or after they got a tweet, you are giving them a call to action to essentially opt in to your fan capture page, and now you have a fan that you can market to for the rest of the time. Now, in order to do this, you have to create a value exchange proposition. In other words, you have to give them something in return for this. Right? You have to create something that is valuable to them, not to you, but to them. And then what you want to do is you want to get an autoresponder that allows you to follow up with all of your contacts at one time. So you don't have to send out individual messages to all these people. You can essentially send out one message that will essentially hit everybody who is inside of your autoresponder. And what you want to do is create a machine that allows you to stay into contact with these people every single day. Okay, so that's how you build an actual, email list that you can click a button and sell music, concerts, and shows to for the rest of time. So number 3, the fortunes are in the follow-up. Okay, so dedicate yourself to serving your email list with relevant content on a weekly basis on social media. Think videos, inspirational messages, tips, and strategies. Okay, so think about how you can help your music fans and how you can create a brand and an identity that says that I understand you. You know, I keep going back to Taylor Swift because she does it so well. She literally strategically thinks out her music, and she appeals to little girls who are going through heartaches or who are going through breakups or who are struggling with their identity, all these kind of different things. And it's very inspirational to them. And, you know, that's why they follow her. That's why she sells out concerts and shows. That's why they love her. So you have to essentially do the same thing too if you want to leverage technology and you want to make money from things that are not tangible, like CDs and downloads and stuff like that. So number 4 is create multiple ways to monetize, serve, and exchange value with your fans. Okay, so use the product pricing curve model to create products for your audience. Think about how you can sell information or experiences to them. Okay, and to make a lot of money as a music artist, you have to get away from thinking about selling CDs and think about selling experiences. You don't have to sell out shows and concerts and all of these kind of things right off the bat, but you do want to think about creating an experience. Even if it's a local thing at a club or at a hotel or at some type of venue, you know, you want to start thinking about how can I create an experience for my fans and sell that to them. Okay, number 5 is cultivate influence and authority. Now, I would wager to say that the number 2 reason why most artists are not leveraging social media correctly and are not building 1,000 true fans or making $100,000 per year is because they don't have influence and they don't have authority. Okay, let that sink in for a second. They don't have influence and they don't have authority. Now, there are some steps to creating influence and authority, and the first is reciprocity, which I told you that I'd get back to in just a second. Now, creating a mutual benefit for both parties is really the essence of business. Okay, it is how business deals are made. So you have to figure out what is a mutual benefit between you and your fans, what's valuable to them, and you have to build a relationship based on that. Okay, this is a very strategic way of creating your music career, and it will take you a long ways when it comes to profiting and being able to sell out concerts and shows, because there will be a mutual benefit for them to show up at your concerts, for your shows. It won't just be all about you. Okay, so there has to be a mutual benefit. Now, commitment and consistency, following up every day with relevant content. All right, if you're not creating content for your fans every single day and it's not relevant to them, you know, some other artist who is doing that is going to come in and is going to steal their mind share. In other words, they're going to be thinking about them more than they think about you. And that's what's going to make it hard for you to essentially sell out your concerts and shows. Okay, now social proof. Displaying what people are saying about you and your music on social media. So if people watch a video of you on YouTube or, you know, retweet some of your stuff or comment and say that you inspire them or that, you know, that you've really helped them through a situation and your music has been a big part of their life, screenshot that, put it on your blog or your website or your social media profiles or your marketing materials, and show people that you are impacting people, that you are creating change within people's lives. And essentially what that's going to do is that's going to show other people that you have value and they're going to flock to you as well. Now, authority, okay, building status and essentially, create demand will bring you authority. Okay, so authority is so crucial in this new music economy. All right, and you have to build status. In other words, you may not have a lot of status in the game right now, but you have to build status through these principles, and you have to create demand. Okay, you have to create demand for yourself if you want yourself to be appealing to the masses, if you want yourself to be appealing to your niche audience, if you want yourself to be appealing to record labels, you have to create demand. Okay, you have to create demand. If there's not a demand for you, then people are not going to pay attention. And that demand will bring the ultimate reward of authority, which will give you the perks of being able to, get those $1 million homes, being able to sell out those concerts and shows all around the world, to be able to have that level of status in the world that allows you to get private bookings in different venues, and people wanting you to come to their restaurants and their clubs and all of these kind of things. They want people who have authority, okay? Because authority will bring them in a revenue, and if you represent authority, then essentially you will be able to capitalize on your music career, and that comes with influence, all right? And then cultivating a deep relationship with your fans, right? You got to get them to like you. You got to get them to cheer for you. You've got to get them to be motivated to want to support you, because when you do that, then essentially what you're able to do is you're able to have an asset of people that you can sell your music concerts and shows to for the rest of time. Okay, and lastly is scarcity. Okay, and this is the art and science of creating desire. All right, desire has to be created around your brand if you want to sell music. Okay, the only reason why somebody's not buying your music now is because there's no desire. There's no internal stimulus that is driving them to check for you. Okay, and all this is a scientific, psychological, patterns that you can duplicate by learning how to market your music correctly and build desire scientifically into your brand. Okay, this is powerful stuff, and this is really fan building broken down to a systematic approach here. All right. So that's going to conclude this presentation. I hope that you got tremendous amount of value out of this. Once again, my name is Brandon Norris Brown. Take care.